And welcome to everybody who is able to join. And we have you on mute if you are calling in, but if you are on via the computer, you'll be able to chat and ask questions that way. We have to get through, so I'll just get started. The title of the webinar is What You Need to Know Before You Go. We will be talking both about WEConnect International Day, which is taking place on June 22nd of the year in Austin, Texas, and it is held in coordination with the WeBank National Conference and Business Fair, which is a U.S.-based conference, but will include international delegates to meet other women business owners from around the world, but then also corporate members that are interested in doing business with women. This webinar is designed to give you a little bit of insight into how to prepare, but for the most part, it's going to give you an overview of what the conferences are. A series of webinars which will take place at this time every Thursday until June 11th. A couple are repeated so that if you miss one, you can pick it up next week or watch the recordings we make. Today's webinar is that we're going to give you the overview, so you know a little bit about WeConnect, a little bit about International Day, a little about WeBank, and a little bit about what you can expect when you get there. We will touch on what you need to do to prepare, but the next two webinars will really focus on that. This is going to give you a solid grounding so you know why you want to prepare the way you do. Everyone should have audio at this point. So if you don't have audio, you might want you will be able to talk. You will have you'll be muted, but you may need to call in to the session using your phone if you don't have audio via the computer. That is to go to video. I'm just going to show you here. And that's how you get the audio. Okay, so going forward to the next page, I'm going to tell you a little bit about WeConnect International. Now, since all of you got to this webinar through WeConnect International, you probably know a little bit about us. But I'll go through what we do so you know just the scope of what we do. We connect non-U.S. known businesses to global value chains. We are a global database of women-owned businesses, which means we have free registration for women-owned businesses worldwide and self-registrations coming from over 90 countries. Now, we offer certification in every country, but we do offer training and certification to women business owners in countries listed below. And our partner organization, WeBank, which we'll talk about in a little bit, provides the certification for women business owners in the U.S. The International Corporate Leadership is the reason why we do what we do. We are a corporate-led nonprofit, which means that these companies are the ones who are interested in doing business with women, but they are contributing back to WeConnect. They are the leadership of WeConnect International, and they are the ones who want to do business with you and are making that possible with their financial support and their support globally. So I'm going to, in future webinars, and talk about a little bit today the importance of narrowing down your market, making sure that you don't have a wide, you're not casting your net too wide. And this is a really good start when you think about coming to the U.S., coming to a global conference. You want to start with these companies that know WeConnect, understand what your WeConnect International certification means, and made the commitment that they want to do business with business owners like you. So why does the corporate leadership want to do that? I'm going to devote 2 slides to this because I think it's important as you think about presenting your company to these major corporations, it's important for you to know why they're there, so you can talk about your company as providing a solution to a problem or a challenge that they have. So the perspective, women's businesses represent a global opportunity. As business, you represent a third to 40% of all privately held businesses globally. And in the developing world, there are 8 to 10 million small and medium-known businesses. So that represents a large number, but only 1% of corporate and government spend is with women-owned businesses. As consumers, women make 70% of consumer purchasing decisions and impact over $20 trillion in annual global spend. So while they represent this great opportunity, the business owners are not visible in the corporate supply chains. Many of the companies that we showed on the last slide, if you look, many of them are doing business with women. Some of those businesses are not visible to them in their supply chains, meaning they don't know that they qualify for their supplier diversity programs and to be tracked as women-owned businesses. And it's just a disparity. Women don't have the access to the markets, to the finances, to networks that would make them available to the people who are making purchasing decisions from these major companies. But the fact is that these companies want to know you because of these statistics. You have a tremendous amount of employment power, but then also a tremendous amount of purchasing power. That's when these companies are looking for women business owners like you, that's really what they have in mind. They're not doing this out of the goodness of their hearts or philanthropy, although that is a small part of it. The big issue here is business. Doing business with women is good business for our corporate members, and that's why we're looking for companies like you. It's good to keep this in mind when you're developing your pitch. You want to start with the business solution you provide, and your certification is just an additional sort of cherry on top of your presentation. You don't want to make it the main focus. So we talked about women business owners, and we'll get more into what makes a great pitch in some of the later webinars, but that's something to be thinking about is, why are these companies looking at me, and what information can I provide them that will address their needs? The needs that the corporations have fall into what their business case is for doing global supplier diversity. So we know that women in general are a great opportunity. What the supplier diversity and inclusion programs allow them to do, these things listed on the slide, and I'll go through it for the people on the phone, but there's really a business case behind supplier diversity. So in the U.S., these programs, supplier diversity and inclusion programs, started with the civil rights movement. So they did start out of a disparity that social and that had a very social mission. What companies found out was that by looking for diverse suppliers, which include in the U.S. minority business owners, people of color, also disabled business owners, oftentimes veterans, and women, they realized that in looking at these diverse groups, they were getting a lot of positive business outcomes, as well as a lot of positive social outcomes. Now, when we present the business case for supplier diversity, we really focus on those business outcomes. Our corporate members are laser focused on them. They present back to their companies on why these programs are important. So we go through why these companies do this and how that's going to help you as you think about coming to the global conferences. So the first two are they demonstrate commitment to governments and communities, and they enhance company brand and community engagement. So the companies that we saw on slide 3, and I'll just go back here. So corporate members, when they want to demonstrate they are committed to a region of the world, they might be based in Europe or in Canada or in the U.S. They are engaged with the communities they work with. Doing business with local business owners and doing business with, in particular, women-owned businesses really demonstrates a commitment to that community. But when they're looking at the people who have the majority of the purchasing power in those communities, so women, it enhances that company brand and community engagement with them. So one of the reasons is definitely there's a marketing piece of it. There's PR, but not all. What companies have also found about doing business with women business owners, and particularly looking at women-owned businesses through certification and supplier diversity programs, is they're able to get more innovative solutions. They're able to mirror their diverse customer and employee base. They work with women, and women feel good about working in a place that is buying from women. Reduce costs with more competitive bids. So those things, innovation, mirror diverse customer base, and reducing costs with more competitive bids, is just basics of business. When they have more, when they're looking to more diverse options, when they have more choices in terms of the suppliers that they can do business with, they are able to get to these outcomes. They get innovation, and that often lower costs. The final two reasons are women business owners provides an access to local knowledge and networks, and it allows them to meet growing customer demand. So in terms of access to local knowledge, if you are aware and you're entering a new market in South Africa or in Chile under a different brand, but it's still a Walmart store, then working with local suppliers that have knowledge about those networks is going to be not only a cost saving for you, but it's also going to make you more successful in the long run. In terms of meeting growing customer demand, this really focuses on customers around the world who are looking to know where their products are coming from. They want to know, is this company doing business ethically? Are they engaged in the communities where they work? And the companies can tell a story about doing this with women, and that story is a successful one, meaning that they're spending a lot of money with women business owners, and money is getting into the hands of women. Then that really, then in meeting the customer's demand, where they want to get their supplies from. I think that's particularly true when you look at the consumer-facing companies. So in the hospitality industry, for example, or the Walmart. And in fact, Walmart does lots of comprehensive studies on their customer base and found that of customers who tend to be primarily women, they thought that none of them felt that if something was made by a woman-owned business, it would be of higher quality. Of course, it's to Walmart's benefit to promote not only internally to their employees and as a corporate leader that they're doing business with women, but it's helpful to get that out in front of the customer as well. And we'll get into the ways that they do that. That is a really quick hit on why these companies do this. And if you have nothing else from the webinar, you should retain this piece of information, which is that companies do this because it helps their bottom line. Do business with women has a solid business case for all of the corporate members who work with WEConnect International. So when you approach them, when you're approaching our corporate members, you should approach them on that basis, which is that they want to do business with you because you provide a business solution for them. So something to be thinking about as you craft your pitch and as we get into the next webinar, which is, what is the business solution that I provide? You may be certified if you're self-registered. You want to think about certification, not where you want to focus your pitch. You want to focus your pitch as if you're any other business. So then, why have the certification? Why is the certification standard important? The reason why the certification standard is important is because the outcomes that these corporations want in terms of community engagement, in terms of accessing women consumer purchasing power. they know that the money that they're spending with women-owned businesses is actually getting into the hands of women. So the WEConnect International Certification Standard makes sure that not only is a company owned 51% or more by women, but it is managed and controlled by women, meaning that money spent with these companies, buying products and buying services, is going under the control of women-owned businesses in those communities. That's one reason. The second reason is that they actually report their diverse spend. So companies report how much business they're doing with women. They're doing that for theirs, so other companies, but then also for governments. And in doing that, they want to make sure that they maintain the integrity of their programs, that no company that just says, yeah, I'm 51% women-owned, really they're not, is going to sneak into their programs and take advantage of some of the benefits that they have. So the 51% standard, and particularly the certification process that assesses that standard, is very important to them. Again, you don't want to lead with that because, for one of the great things about the WEConnect International Day and the WeBank National Conference is that you're going to be surrounded by other business owners just like you. The idea is that most of the companies that are there, not all, but most of the women business owners will be certified business enterprises. So what you want to think of is, yes, I have my certification. We'll get into how you present that. But really, what differentiates me even among this group of qualified, certified, women-owned businesses? If you're not certified, as I mentioned, you still can come to the conference, and you're definitely welcome to WeConnect International Day. It is one of the things, just in terms of managing your expectations, that you should be prepared for, that most of the companies will be expecting that the women that approach them will be certified or in the process of becoming certified. That's because that's what their program looks for when they offer you the programs and services through their Supplier Diversity programs. So it's not, we welcome everybody, but that's just to let you know that you will get that question, so it's a good thing to keep in mind. So WEConnect International results and impact. Actually work. I think that's a question after there's a business, women represent an opportunity, there's a business case, there's a process by establishing what's a women-owned business, or actual results and impact. I can see from the list of participants that some of them on the call have experienced some success in doing business with corporations and also in doing business with one another, because they don't want to overlook that aspect of these big national conferences and bringing people together, that women also represent great potential clients for a lot of your businesses. But these are some of the things that come from the WeConnect International Network. Visibility and awards. 2 awards that we're actually looking for applicants right now are the International Women's Entrepreneurial Challenge. They'll be recognizing awardees in Istanbul in November of this year, and the Tuck WeBank program, which is taking place in October in the U.S. WeConnect International has the opportunity to nominate 1 WBE to each of these programs, and while they are not specifically focused on developing new business, they're an opportunity, again, to be around your peers in a very focused setting, and the Tuck WeBank program in particular is what they call an MBA in 1 week, and you'll have that MBA focused on entrepreneurship, that MBA type of program focused on entrepreneurship with other women business owners, both from WeConnect and the U.S. Talk about not only how to work in your business, but how to work on your business to position it for success. So visibility and awards are some of the intangibles that come with participating in the WeConnect network. That happen are strengthening client relationships. So there are success stories on our website, so I'm not going to go through all of them here. We could probably devote an entire webinar just to those. But behind strengthening client relationships is you may be coming into this thinking, well, I already do business with some of the corporations on this list. Just going again to our corporate list, like I'm already doing business with a Coca-Cola or an ExxonMobil. And so that's fantastic, and definitely you should definitely let us know about that, so we can let our contacts know about it, because the way that WEConnect International helps build your brand and promote you to corporate members is by saying you're already doing business with a certified business owner. In cases, that results in additional departments or additional business. Because if you're already meeting your goal in terms of certification and you're already a supplier to the company, it's much easier for the supplier diversity professionals to advocate for you within their company. A little more, again, in the second webinar, but you really, if you take two things from the webinar, this is the second thing you should take, which is the representatives and the people we're going to introduce you to at WEConnect International Day and the WeBank Conference, they work these companies and are in supplier diversity roles, which means they may or may not be purchasing, they may not purchase, and they may not be purchasing in the industry that you represent. However, they're your advocates within their company. So when you're meeting one of their challenges, which is one, finding certain businesses, and two, qualified certified businesses, when you do that, it's much easier for your advocates within the companies to introduce you to other people. For example, with Supersma in India, they were already doing business with IBM, but the certification allowed the supplier diversity representative to advocate for them within different departments in IBM and actually strengthened that relationship, and they were able to get more business with IBM because they were meeting their need for certified businesses. A way that we demonstrate success is employee growth. So when we know our companies are growing, we know the WeConnect International companies are growing when they're getting new business, and then as a result, they're able to hire more people. So these are Sourcing Team and Mama Bella in Mexico are just two examples of companies that have actually been able to increase their number of employees as a result of new business through the WeConnect International network. And only revenue growth. Companies have grown up to, these on this list have grown anywhere between 6% to 15%. To Chocolate Philosophy in India actually doubled their annual revenues as a result of business through WeConnect International network. Now, the results aren't the same for everybody, and it can take time. Obviously, you are the people that understand this because you're thinking about coming to an international conference where you can invest in your business for longer-term results. So I give this slide with all of the different things you can get out of the network. Again, help manage expectations. You're going to meet a lot of corporate representatives at these companies. You have opportunities to develop those relationships. That's the really important thing you want to keep in mind. Not the sales aspect, although that will come, and some people certainly will come out of the conference with sales opportunities. But really, this is an opportunity for you to get to know your clients and your potential clients and identify which are the ones that for the rest of the year after June you can spend time with to cultivate those relationships, which will result in revenue building opportunities. It's described, these conferences have been described as being able to do sales calls in one day, and you can certainly do that, but the importance of those calls and the importance of any sales call really is what happens afterwards. What is the follow-up that you're do and that you're able to do in the course of running your business? That brings us to actually focusing and narrowing down your targets. But you want to think of these things as, yes, it's a sales call, but you may not make the sale that day. It may take some time to build these relationships, to demonstrate your capabilities, to talk to other people that are actually going to be doing the purchasing once your supplier diversity advocate is introduced to you, before it results in some tangible metrics of success that we have here. this is not the best slide. This is the WEConnect International Day agenda, and I give this to you because this is the first you're going to get there, and it's good to have when you're going new, you'll be traveling. A lot of you will be traveling from far away. You want to have an idea of what you're in for the first day, and this is when the day starts, and we're going to go through at WEConnect International Day. I'm going to take you over to the WEConnect International website because you can get a better look at that. So the people who are calling in, share my screen. You won't see it because you're on the phone, but you also go to our website now or later on today and look at the agenda. And it will be constantly updated. So we will be updating the agenda with more people that'll be presented. So let me share that now. Okay. So you should see on the screen National Day agenda. We'll with opening remarks from Elizabeth, Pam from WEConnect, and Nellie Sterling Saunders from ExxonMobil. We'll have an opportunity for everyone to provide a brief introduction. It's really just your name and the country that you're from, so people get a sense of the business delegates and where everybody's from. Then we'll be focusing on at 10:15 and 11:45 and 1:30. We'll actually do profiles and success. So we're going to focus on a business owner that has been successful and the corporate member that is buying their products or services. I think the first one we have listed is Teach My and Walmart. I think Christy Cook is actually on this call, which is fantastic, and I'll be a little later on. You can see if you have anything to add. But I think that's great. One, that she still feels like there's something she can learn from this webinar, but then also the idea of not as how I did it, but I want to share that with other business owners to help you as you navigate all different these different corporate relationships. We will have a global panel with corporate members. So this is an opportunity right now. I'm giving you a sense of what corporate members in general want to hear, want to see when you present to them, what they're expecting, and what's going to position your company in a good light. The best thing is for you to actually hear it from them, and so you'll be able to hear from Michael Robinson from IBM, Gerardo from Dell, Andy Butler from P&G, and Darlene Fuller from Sodexo. So just a few of our member corporations who are going to share, this is looking for when I'm looking for women-owned businesses, this is what I'm not looking for, and this is how you can approach our company. Another balance success, we're going to feature our Canadian delegation with an address from the Canadian Minister. And then one in the day, as we flesh out the agenda, there'll actually be an opportunity to learn of our WEConnect Academy modules, which are really focused on each module, and there's 10 of them, is focused on a different aspect of your business that you need to prepare for when you're preparing to approach a corporate member about doing business with them. So while this webinar is designed to give you a little overview about specifically planning for these days, that's going to, the WEConnect Academy, which you have access to, is self-registered and certified businesses through the e-network. There's actually a series of 10 modules which give you a really in-depth look at legal aspects of your business, partnerships, owning your market, and approaching a corporate customer. I'm going to use some of those modules in the following webinars, in the second and third webinars, so you can get a sense of what they're like. But you all have access to those through your e-network profile, and if you have any questions about that, you can just get in touch with me and we can help you. So that is the WEConnect International Day agenda. It'll finish off with a reception. And I just want to make a quick note here about the receptions, because you'll find that as you look at the agenda for WeConnect International Day, and then we'll go to WeBank Day after this, you'll notice there's a lot of time for a reception, a dinner, things like that. Those are every bit as important as the business fair, if not more. And the reason is because of something I touched on a little bit earlier. It's your opportunity to actually build relationships with these people. As you know, we have the WeConnect International Network. If the companies just wanted to look at a list of women business owners, find one that provided a product that they knew of or knew they needed, and then buy from them, then we need a whole conference around it to actually have you be face-to-face with these people. The value of these conferences is this face-to-face interaction, and not only a chance for you to say, here's what I do, here's what you can buy from me, but actually find out from them. What are problems, what are the challenges you have in your business? And this is a way my company can address those challenges that maybe you haven't thought of. While the business fair is great for the quick hits, again, that 100 sales calls in a day, it's the relations and the networking opportunities which are going to allow you the time to really get to know different people. Now, there's only so many corporate members, especially with WeConnect International, and a lot of WBEs. And I just reiterate, WBEs can be a great resource, other businesses can be a great resource for you in addressing some of the challenges you're having navigating these processes. The in many ways can be, one, your number one clients, but they can also provide you, yeah, I approached ExxonMobil and this is how it went, or have you considered this? The other women business owners are a tremendous resource, and so networking with them will strengthen your network overall as you're approaching the corporate members as well. It also, this is one chance where you can be with women, you're going to get to be with women business owners from Africa, from Latin America. And so it's good to use that opportunity when you're together, just in relationships, again, that you can follow up on throughout the year. So that's WeConnect International Day. I'm going to show you really quickly the schedule at a glance for the WeBank conference, which is on the WeBank website. So if you look up here, and for the people on the phone, you go CONF as in Frank, .webank, WBENC.org. When you go there, that's the main WeBank conference website, and that will tell you about everything that's happening after the 22nd. So WeConnect International will be having the program the 22nd, and then after that, WeBank has a program. One of the reasons that I'm doing these webinars in a tiered fashion is that not all of the information about the WeBank conference is not yet on the website. So I think it's a good idea to keep checking back in as there gets to be more information. But now you can download and print a version of this schedule so you can see, okay, this is where I need to be. If you're scheduling any meetings with women business owners or corporations in advance, you know what are the things to plan around. You know where the receptions are, where are the meals, and what are the things where you may have free time. So, you can see it in workshops on Tuesday. Wednesday is the day of the business fair. It will have about 3,500 people there. Hundreds of corporations will have exhibit booths along with women-owned businesses, and for opportunity to, using the target list of your corporations, approach companies, tell them a little bit about your business, and get to know if there's a fit there. So the two webinars are really going to focus on that day, how you present yourself that day, and what your follow-up needs to be in terms of approaching those companies. And then finally on Thursday, there's going to be more workshops and workshop sessions. WeConnect International will be in charge of we'll have a global workshop, so we'll be represented at one of these, and as we have more information, we'll be able to update you on that. The other key things about the WeBank website that you should keep in mind, one is the exhibitors list. Now, if I click on exhibitors and current exhibitors, you can see a list of current exhibitors on the website. It's a vertical list, and it's a lot of companies. Soon they will have their floor plan up. You can see now it's coming soon, so we'll talk about that at a later webinar. But that's your opportunity to really focus your time and attention. While it seems like a whole day, if you get into some good conversations with people, the day is going to go by really quickly, so you really want to plan your time. And we'll get into that a little bit more in later webinars. And the key thing to know for now is to pack comfortable shoes. You're not going to need the stilettos unless you're comfortable in them, in which case that's great. But really, wear comfortable shoes and plan to do a lot of walking and a lot of talking. There are going to be a lot of people, and I think that one of the biggest adjectives I've heard in terms of people describing this conference when they haven't been before is overwhelming. So the idea behind this webinar and our future webinars is so it's not quite so overwhelming, but I do want to let you know that there's going to be a lot of companies. The more you can prepare in advance, pitch ready, have the companies that you want to target ready, and being ready to help any of your fellow business owners. The more you have all that prepared in advance, the better off you'll be. So I'm going to take an opportunity in terms of talking about your materials, since this is about the time you'll probably be making materials or thinking about the materials that you're going to bring. One thing that's available to you as a certified business is to put on the Women-Owned logo on your products. The idea of the Women-Owned logo is that it's used by businesses certified by WEConnect International or WeBank. It was launched in partnership with Walmart, so there's actually a website, is womenownedlogo.com. You can see it at the bottom of your screen there, where a list of companies that are already doing business with Walmart. Some are WEConnect International certified companies and are using that Women-Owned logo on their products. The idea behind it is Walmart is promoting retail products with the logo on the packaging, not just in terms of, oh, a certified women-owned business and here we're going to track our spend and that kind of thing, but it's an opportunity for the consumers. So going to one of our initial slides, with 70% of purchasing power and having an impact on $20 trillion in spend, and getting out in front of that consumer, this logo is something you can put on your packages to let them know that your product is women-owned. And again, that research shows that female customers assume that products made by women are of better quality compared to similar products. At the conference, there'll be a women-owned row, so women-owned businesses will be highlighted. Businesses using the women-owned logo will be highlighted in their own pavilion. It's an opportunity for you as a certified business to think about where you might put that on your packaging. Now, one question I get is, can service companies use this? You're welcome to use the Women-Owned logo on your website. You can put it on the back of your business card where there's not your contact information. You can use it in a way that is helpful for you. And the idea is that we raise awareness, one, about the quality and the caliber of women-owned businesses that are in our network, and also provide more opportunities for women to be able to buy from women businesses. So, and if you have any questions about the logo, you can go to the website. It is only for certified businesses, but if you go to the website, there's more information there, or, of course, you can always contact me. The logo is great because as I talk about preparing, for the conference, and that it seems like a lot of time, but often you don't have a lot of time. This is something that when you put it on your products, it speaks for itself. So it can save you some time in terms of describing the certification or what it means. It's like, this is what it is, I'm certified, I'm using the logo, and now we can talk about the business solution that I'm going to provide for you. So that's the big overview. I do have a few more slides, and this is really just going to touch on some we're going to talk about in the second and third webinars. But these are the tools and resources that are available to you right now before the conference. Again, the more you can prepare now and demonstrate a familiarity with the corporations, why you're approaching them, and what solutions you can provide, the better off you're going to be. One way to do that is through the e-network. So certified and self-registered businesses all have access to the e-network. If you have questions about that, you can go to our website, click on e-network. If you forgot your password, it'll generate a new one for you. And then once you get into the e-network, you'll actually be able to start businesses, search for women-owned businesses in either by country or by product and service categories. The first thing I recommend you do is search for your own company. Don't just search for it with your company name, but search for it as you would a corporation who is looking for a business owner like you. Because many of our corporate members actually use the e-network or they ask us to use the e-network to find business owners that provide training, that provide marketing, that provide a widget or a product that they're looking for. The example I like to use is if you are a law firm and when you are filling out your application for self-registration or certification and you just put in your product description, law firm. If I were in here looking for legal services on behalf of a corporate member, or they were looking for that, they would not be able to find you. So the first thing you want to do is to look at your own profile. Profile is what business owners are going to use to search for you and what our corporate members use to search for you. So starting there, as you start to think about developing your materials, will be a great start. The other thing that you can search for as a certified business, if you're certified, is you can look at our corporate members and their profiles. So as you start to think about which ones you want to target, who has a supplier diversity program that I need to register for in advance, which just has an email address and can I email them in advance, those kind of things. The e-network is your first resource. It's not your only resource, it's just a tool, but it will give you a sense of, oh, okay, this is how I'm presenting my company. Do I need to change any materials before I go? Do I want to put the women-owned logo on things? Or do I save that just for my website? It's all for you to decide you're preparing. The next resource you have is just the WEConnect at WeBank website, which we were on earlier. If you go to the WEConnect International website and click on Women's Business Enterprises, you scroll down to the fifth option is WEConnect at WeBank 2015. That gives you what WEConnect International Day is doing and any international components of the regular conference that I mentioned, some of the workshops and things that will be focused on global. You want to register now, both for WEConnect at WEConnect and then also the WeBank conference itself. There's two separate registration processes. The WEConnect International Day is free. It's free of charge. You can register for the day and the reception. The conference does come with a fee, which is discounted as a certified business. And that's really the last thing to cover. We've talked about corporate members are with WEConnect International, why they do this, why they come to conferences like this, why they're looking for you, and a couple of the things that you can address when you are approaching them. In the webinars, we'll get into concrete things you can do besides the e-network to approach these companies, some of the do's and don'ts of doing that, and some of the materials you want to provide. In the third webinar, we'll talk about follow-up. And then for the fourth one, we're really just going to give an opportunity to ask questions and do a little more Q&A. That said, are any questions that people want to put in the chat window for those of you who are online that I can answer now? Okay, I'll let everybody absorb this. I'll let you go to the video a little later to review any of the things that touch on. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me. In the meantime, thank you for joining this webinar, and I look forward to seeing you on future webinars.